This is the answer key for exercise 2.33, which is on page 45 in the workbook, Two Keys to Teaching Grammar to English Language Learners. The question for us is whether a verb in a real sentence is an auxiliary verb, a helping verb, or the main verb. So let's just get right to it. Number one, has been. Has is auxiliary, been is the main verb. The second underlined pair, have done. Have is the auxiliary verb, done is the main verb. Whenever you have two verbs together, three verbs together, four verbs together, however many verbs you have together, the last verb is going to be your main verb. It's the content word. So for example, has been eating. Well, what is the person doing? They're eating. Has and been tells you something about it's been continuing. Has tell you it started in the past, continues until now, and been tells you it's happening now, the be plus the ing. But think of it this way: the auxiliary verbs serve a grammatical purpose, and the verb part is the one. If you were going to draw a picture of what's happening, it's the one you would draw. It's the lexical verb. It's the meaning verb. In number two, am is underlined. Am planning. Am is an auxiliary verb. Who has a house? Has, that's the main verb. That's the verb. When I am there, am here is a main verb. All we do, that's a verb, is rest. So all we do, the do goes with we do something, that's a main verb. And all we do, everything we do, is, that's also a main verb. Things that have happened. Have is an auxiliary verb, happened is your main verb. Number three, students are taking a grammar test. Are taking. Are is an auxiliary verb. Taking is your main verb. They have 20 minutes. Have is a verb. It's a main verb. Number four, every professor on a 12-month teaching contract has, that's a main verb. It is great. Is a main verb. And Dr. Jenks does not do that. Does is an auxiliary verb. Do is your main verb. He does it. That's a main verb, but he does not do it. That first does is just there because they're negating. All right. Let's see. So number five, he is dreaming. Is an auxiliary verb. Dreaming is your main verb. And that's the only one in that sentence. But here's a bonus question for you. I wish he'd shape up. He'd shape up. So he'd shape. What does that apostrophe D stand for? That's your bonus question. Any ideas? Think about that. I'll give you the answer at the end. Number six, the fridge is almost empty. Is a main verb. We've been cooking. The we've, that's have, that's an auxiliary verb. Been is an auxiliary verb. Cooking is not underlined for you here, but that's the main verb. Let's do some shopping. Do something. Let's do dinner. Let's do the homework. Do shopping. Shopping's a noun there. Do here is the main verb. Let's do something. Number seven, he does not like. Like is your main verb. Does is an auxiliary verb that's required for negating the word like. It is not as spacious. Is a main verb. Let's see. And it only has one window. Has is a main verb there. Number eight, they were forced. Were forced. Were is the auxiliary verb. Forced is your main verb. And then you have live. They live in the smallest place. That's a main verb. And they have ever had. Have had. Have is an auxiliary verb. Had is your main verb. Number nine, I did my best. That's the verb. If you only have one verb, it's the verb. But I still did not do. I did not do something. The do is your main verb, and did is an auxiliary verb here, required because you're negating. And number 10, Joe's life is great. Is a main verb. And then he just got married and moved into a living apartment. He has in the city. Has is a main verb. So let's go back to number 5. He'd shape up. That stands for he would shape up. So with would shape, shape is your main verb, and that apostrophe D meaning would, that's going to be your auxiliary verb. And those are the answers for exercise 2.33. How did you do?